Welcome to today's episode of The Secret Life of Seeds, Fruit Edition.
Today we will be discussing pollination, fertilization, and germination. Pollination happens when pollen comes in contact with the stigma of a flower, but it can only happen when the pollen and the stigma are compatible. Pollination is the first in a series of events that leads to fertilization, the fusion of a sperm and an egg in the ovary of a flower. Fertilization results in a seed that sprouts or germinates. Germination means that the sporophyte of the plant begins to grow. A mature seed is an ovule. A mature seed also has a protective seed coat. The embryo of the seed has a lengthwise axis. Additionally, the embryo has the beginnings of a root called a root apical meristem at one end and a shoot apical meristem at the other end.
So what are eudicote embryos? Eudicote embryos are monophyletic plants that have two seed leaves. They are considered to be in one of the largest groups, and they are considered true dicots because they have the two seed leaves. Monocots are much like eudicots in many ways. Monocots are flowering plants with one embryonic leaves, unlike eudicots that have two. Monocots are much like orchids and corn, and their development is similar to eudicots, except for the leaves and the seed coat. Many things happen in the embryonic cycle. First off, the cell divides into two zygote cells, and then on one side there's a suspensor is where the root sprouts, and then on the opposite side is where the shoot. In the development of the eudicote seedling, the seed first germinates, then it attaches to the soil. After that, the leaves start to sprout and become more prominent, so the flower starts to bloom. After it becomes more prominent, the leaves and the sprout and the roots start to grow along with it.
Most of us just see fruits as food, but they're actually an ovary that has matured or ripened. Seed dispersal can happen with animals, wind, or water, but fruits help that process occur.
That's not how she says
The two types of fruits that I'll be talking about are simple fruits and aggregate fruits. The pericarp is a fruit wall that is developed through an ovary wall, and it also has several layers. The difference between a simple fruit and an aggregate fruit are the amount of ovaries that a fruit is developed from. A simple fruit is developed from one single ovary, while aggregate fruits are developed from several ovaries. Some examples of simple fruits would be plums, like apples, or a fruit like a mango. Peaches have a thick, flesh-like pericarp. An example of an aggregate fruit would be something like a raspberry.
Three different types of fruits I'm going to be talking about are accessory, multiple, and specialized. An accessory fruit, also known as a pseudopart or pseudofruit, is similar to a simple fruit, however, has many ovaries and a floral part. Multiple fruits, also known as collective fruits, are fruits that are grown in a cluster of flowers and then broken into one flower to produce a fruit. Specialized fruits are ways that seed dispersal occurs in life. One way is aerodynamic problem. It is when the seed uses its wings to drop the seeds at a different location.
Now we interrupt our regularly scheduled programming to bring you a breaking news report from our field reporter, Mr. CT. Mr. CT, over to you.
Mr. CT, seed germination specialist.
Since about 2 weeks ago, I grew a sudden interest in plants. I began examining them, watching them, Googling them, growing them, dabbing with them. In this section, I'll be talking about a very important process in plant growth, seed germination with Mr. CT. The life of a plant begins from a tiny seed. Seed is protected by an outer covering called the seed coat. The seed contains a small baby plant called the embryo. Conditions required for this seed are moisture, nutrient-rich soil, sunlight, and a good quality seed. Once these conditions are satisfied, the seed begins to grow. The seed absorbs water from the soil and provides moisture to the embryo. The plant cells inside the seed start duplicating, enzymes get activated, and the embryo starts receiving nourishment. The first sign of growth is a tiny root which comes out of the seed. With more and more nourishment, the embryo starts growing eventually. The growing plant bursts open through the seed coat in search of sunlight to start its own process of photosynthesis. Once the seed coat falls off, the root starts growing downwards to anchor the seed and to search for more nutrients and food from the soil. Meanwhile, the shoot also starts growing upwards towards the light. Soon we see a baby plant with tiny leaves. This process of growth of a seed into a plant is called germination. When it comes to seed germination, there are two different types, monocots and dicots. Monocots only have one seed leaf inside the seed coat, dicots have only two seed leaves inside the seed coat. When monocots germinate, it produces a single leaf. It is usually long and narrow like the adult leaf. When dicots germinate, it produces two seed leaves. They contain food for the new plant.